Yeah,
Hello, hello, and welcome everyone to OFP's very first market analysis and overview. My name is Rhea, and with me today is Barry. How you doing, Barry?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Wonderful. We just want to send a warm welcome to those of you who are with us live today. If you are watching the replay, we send warm welcomes to you as well, and we thank you for joining us. At this time, we're going to ask that everyone has their mics off. So everyone should be muted. And also, if you want to have your cameras off, that's great too, because we are recording this. So if you don't want anybody to see you, you may want to have your cameras off. Just bear that in mind. We're going to wait about 2 minutes just to give more traders an opportunity to join us. But while we wait, please feel free to send us a message in the chat if you're able to send a message in there and tell us where you're from. Hello, Sweden. I'm from Chicago, USA. Barry, where are you from?
I'm from Zambia,
Zambia. See, I always get Zambia mixed up. What's the other country that starts with a Z?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
Hola, Ecuador. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te sientes?
Muy bien.
All right, let's make sure we keep our mics off, but you can chat to us.
okay, so I believe it's been 2 minutes. We can
Has it
begin,
been 2 minutes?
I
It
believe.
has.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let me go over the rules real quick and then Barry, it's all you, okay?
Sure,
Sound good?
no problem.
All right. Okay, so we have a few rules. Sorry, we want to ask all of you. First, please save your questions till the end. We're going to allow Barry to do his analysis first. We're going to look over some common pairs that you probably will see in the top left-hand corner of the screen. At the end, we'll do a Q&A, and at that time, you will be able to ask questions. You can send those questions to us in the chat at that time, or you could click the little raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen, and you can unmute yourself when we call on you to ask your question. And we just want to ask also to make sure that your questions, when you do ask questions, that they're related to trading today. Any questions regarding support help, like with your accounts or payouts or anything like that, we do ask that you send those questions to the support team. And today we are just talking about trading. We want to also ask, please keep your mics muted just so that we can hear Barry. Everyone can hear Barry. You are welcome to have your cameras on if you want. Just remember, we are recording. So if you don't want anyone to see you when we put this on social media or anything like that, then keep your cameras off. Um, if you put your cameras on, just make sure you're dressed, wearing clothes and looking good to go. Um, in the chat box, let's make sure everything is about trading, nothing related to support. And lastly, let's just remember to be respectful. But other than that, I am all done. I'm going to pass the mic over to Barry.
Okay, thank you, Ria, for the introduction. So on the left side, like Ria already mentioned, we have our watch list. We always stick to this watch list, just like a hedge fund would stick to particular instruments. So we have like a six list of forex pairs, basically, and one commodity, basically. So five forex pairs and one commodity or metal, basically, which is gold, which is everyone's favorite. So we're gonna begin with USD Mexican. I know a few people. This is probably their first time probably hearing of US dollar versus the Mexican peso, but it's a really good pair. And yeah, it's one we actually look at from time to time. So right now, we see that the market has been ranging for a little bit, and then we had a breakdown, which we did enter, apparently. So obviously, with a trend line, we mostly use trend lines and price. So with a trend line, we can easily see that price had broke here. So this is where we entered for a sell, and then we probably exited somewhere around here. It's in our history tab. So every trade we are analyzing from this watch list, when we take it, you indeed see it, as you can see in these active positions. So as of now, also the market did break this upward trend. So this is where we entered. So we're looking for more than a one-to-one risk reward. So we're first targeting this area over here. And obviously our stop loss will be all the way up here. This will probably be our first target over here. So anyone who's looking to enter will be looking to target the levels of 1780 to below that level, or even these levels under here. But conservatively, we aim for these levels down here, like the previous support level. So that's basically it on USD Mexican. The next one we're going to look at is US dollar yen. US dollar yen is a pair that has been trending really strongly to the upside, as we can see. We're looking for long positions on USD yen. So currently, we entered like quite a while back with US coming back on USD yen. We had a break to the upside, and then we continued with this trend all the way up. There was some resistance levels if we check on the old data, somewhere around 160. So that's where we're taking profit. It's even here in our history. So our closing price was around 160,400. So right now, the market looks like it has sort of made a top. So we're going to look for the market to retrace probably to levels of exactly 15900 as a psychological level. So next week, we may see the market make a short downtrend all the way to this wick over here. Like this is a level that will probably attract price down to this level. So we're looking for the market to retrace a bit before we actually look for longs to the upside. So that is all on USD yen. So the next one is Euro USD. Euro USD is also a pair that has been trending to the downside. Everyone can attest to that. So this one was kind of an obvious trade, or something a trader would easily see, as we were just making higher highs. Then we actually broke this short-term uptrend over here. So the market dropped all the way here. My entry was somewhere here, but obviously because I knew we were close to the target, I still entered on this same level, even though our entry had to be all the way up here. So for the past few weeks and days, the market has been ranging. Like literally, our target has just been here on 0.7600. That's what we're looking for the market to reach. So the market has been ranging. This has been a range. So as they say, you only know you're in a range when the range happens. So right now we're in a range that seems to be a downward range, as we can see here. So we are obviously going to bounce off this level here, which is already being rejected. Then we may see next week some pressure to the downside. And then we'll be aiming for levels. If we take a look back here. So the levels we'll obviously be aiming for are these support levels over here. So this is below 1.06600. So keep note of that number, 1.06600. We'll obviously be making lows next week, most probably. If not, then we'll still be in a range, but there's nothing wrong with being in a range as long as we're positive, then we'll be quite good. So another pair we're going to look at is CAD Swiss. CAD Swiss, we had interest rates. I think that was around the 19s that pushed price all the way up. And that also broke our trend line, easy trend lines which can be drawn. Yeah, so that broke our trend line here. So this was obvious signs that this market is going to continue going up. So we entered a bit late, but it's better late than never. So we entered around this level and our stop loss is just below the previous lows here. So we are looking to make higher highs. We're very close to our take profit apparently, which is also a psychological level, which is 0.66. So that is also a resistance level, close to a resistance level, and also a place where price also rejected. So this was like a support made resistance. So we are looking for price to even go above this 1.66 level, even all the way up here to take out this resistance level above here. So that's what we're looking for next week. So we may definitely see price slightly retrace down to these levels over here. It won't be much of a deep retracement, or it can just immediately move all the way up or even gap next week. That's also a possibility. So we just need to be aware of that we are still making high highs on CAD Swiss. Okay, another pair we're going to look at, which is also in correlation with USD yen, is pound yen, which they call the beast. So pound yen, we entered this also quite a while back. It has been in a very strong uptrend. So this one, if we take a look back at past data, let's just go on trading view. Pound yen, and we're going to use the ICE data because we cannot see this in most forex brokers, but the ICE data gives us a reflection of the past. So there are going to be some support levels. So as you can see, the market has just been moving up beyond levels that we have never reached for years on end. So yeah, ever since 2008, market has been crashing all the way down, and this is when it has been recovering back up. So levels which we are definitely going to be hitting here is the 215 level over here, but that is much of a stretch. So we are going to be aiming for closer levels around this area. So that could be like 204 to 205, since this is a level that could make our resistance, then we'll probably pull back. So we are being, again, conservative, but the market, we can definitely see it reach 215 even by the end of this year. So that's one thing we need to keep in mind. Pound yen is in an uptrend, so we'll only be looking for longs all the way to 215. But as of now, we're going to be conservative. We're just going to look for some psychological levels of 204 to 205. So I've just gone in the middle for 204.400. So we may see those levels being hit even in the month of July as we start a new month. So as of next week, we can see the highs being breached over here. There may be some minor retracements. Then we can most definitely probably reach even the level of 204 over here next week. But we'll look at the calendar to see where we are and where we're going, so we can prepare ourselves. And please also be aware that 4th of July is a holiday, so the market will be slow on that day as well. And the next one, last but not least, is gold. Yeah. So during the beginning of June, like after NFP, we saw the market push all the way down, and that obviously broke this uptrend. And we entered here, which was like a bit further than this entry over there. And our stop loss actually has to be all the way up here. I'll adjust that as the week begins. So, yeah, the market pushed all the way down. We're very close to our take profit, but then the market started moving slightly up in an uptrend, then broke again to the downside. So those who were looking to short this market could have shorted around this level as well. And then it started making lower lows over here. Then we seem to be tracing a bit deep to this resistance and rejected off this resistance. So next week we might see ourselves go below the support level of 2320 as our first target. If you're really, really conservative and your stop loss is all the way up here. And then we also may see levels of 2290 being breached, but our overall target is 2285, which is all the way down here. So we're looking to breach even these support levels of them coming next week, especially since there'll be NFP. Most definitely, I suspect there'll be NFP because it's going to be the first Friday of the month. So that's all my analysis on these 6 pairs. Hope you gain some insight from this and look to take some really good trades next week. And make sure you put your stop loss in case price goes against you. But this is overall what we're saying. So let's just quickly look over the calendar and see what we can expect for next week. So we have red flag news. Let's just filter all those to red flag news so that we can clearly see what we have for next week. So we have elections, French elections. So we're definitely going to see some movement on euro, dollar, and other euro pairs. So yeah, this is going to be the whole day of today. Then on Monday, we have ISM, manufacturing PMI. This will definitely move the market. So be careful on the pairs which you're going to trade, which is USD yen, EURUSD, and USD Mexican peso. Then another one will be another ISM, services manufacturing PMI. That's what we're going to have on Wednesday. So we're going to have a lot of US related red flag news accompanied with euro related red flag news. So euro dollar related, we may see some very strong movement. And lastly, we're going to have NFP. So most definitely on these other pairs which we have targets, these targets may be closely reached, or we may have even deeper retracements to the upside. But of course, make sure you put your stop losses in place and risk what is your maximum amount. And I believe you should be good. And also we have like some Canadian news, just only one, which is unemployment rate. So we may definitely see our target over here of 1.66 being reached. So now this is where we have our Q&A. So if there are pairs, of course, you'd like me to look at before we close up our session for tonight, you can definitely mention those in the chat. Okay. So you can just use the chat to mention particular pairs you'd like us to look at. Okay, NASDAQ or S&P 500. Those moving correlations. So let's have a look at those. Let's start with NASDAQ 100. Okay. So NASDAQ 100, we have seen some upward movement over here. We've been making higher highs, but then we have this deep retracement over here. So most definitely we have breached this trend line which was here just like a short-term upward move. Another thing with indices, you need to always remember that they usually go up at least 70% of the time. So short-term shorts, you need to be a little bit careful and very conservative. So if you're looking to short this market, I'll cover both. You as a short trader and also a long trader. So if you're looking to short this market, this would have been a very ideal candle over here to signify to you that the trend has changed. Then these levels over here, which we seem to have already hit, would have been your first target. Another second target would be this support over here. But looking at this short-term upward move, which we had here, which has already been breached, would look probably to put our stop loss over here to protect ourselves. And then a short-term target would be here at 19,000 rather, 450 to 500. This is where our take profits can be coming into next week. But I believe as we cross into Monday, with also the ISM report, manufacturing report comes in, we may see a pullback over here. So if you're patient enough, we can have like a 50% pullback with this move to the downside. Then we'll definitely see the market come all the way over here. So this is one thing you can actually look at for next week if you're a short or basically a seller into next week for this level to be targeted. But of course, we're going to look to have maybe a retracement all the way up here. Just somewhere here. Not very deep, but somewhere around that level, just above this pin bar. Like we may have a retracement up there. That would be a very good entry with a very tight risk. And then we'll be targeting the levels down here. So as a seller, this is what we can be looking at on the NAS 100. Then as a buyer, that's also a different story. So this is the trend we were obviously looking at. So obviously our stop loss would be here where just below this previous low where we may be aiming for next week. So this is where we would have entered and we would be targeting to make a new high, which we have not yet reached. So ideally, if you're really conservative, you would have moved your stop loss to break even by now, so that in case the market further retraces, you just get stopped out and break even. Then those who are looking to short the market will be aiming for this level over here. So that is what we can be looking at. But overall, I personally, if I were to enter into this trade, I would be looking to short this market because this one looks more lucrative since we already had an upward movement to the upside over here. So looking even just at the news coming in next week, we may have like, of course, that pullback over here. If not, then we'll just go directly here to this support level, then bounce from here. Then maybe with NFP, we may come and make a new high, most probably. But yeah, that's what we're looking for next week. So this goes vice versa. So if those currencies, that would have been a different story, but USD, or rather US indices always go up. So would mostly be looking for long trades. Any other pair we can look at before we go? Check the US dollar index and silver index so we can confirm gold movement. Okay, sure, not a problem. Right, and also, okay. Yeah, so we only have like 10 minutes remaining. So I'm probably gonna look at the dollar index as the last one. So which one is it over here? Okay, let's just go on trading view to quickly look at this. So DXY, So we can just choose this one. Let's go to the 4-hour. Okay. Let's remove these. So obviously, what you're thinking for the confirming of the gold movement, we're looking for shorts on gold, and also US dollar index always moves to the upside. So already here we have had a very strong upward trend where we had a retracement over here. So I've been making higher highs and higher lows, as we can see from here. We haven't really broken any structure whatsoever. Maybe here these would have been short-term moves to the downside, but already hit support levels here. So this pushed up as well. Then here, this was also a trend to the upside. We broke. These would have been good targets for the short term. Again, this is in the upside range. So this looks like we may be coming down all the way here. But again, US dollar index always moves up, just like indices, similar. So if we're looking at the dollar index, we already have double tops over here. So it's mostly in correlation with Euro USD. But if we're looking to short this market, we'll definitely be aiming for this support level over here. But obviously, with the correlation to euro dollar, we most definitely may be still be making higher highs, targeting to make a high over here since we've made like a double top. Usually double tops are for reversals. So obviously the market may still slightly retrace all the way down. I believe we may be targeting this minor support level. This is not like a major support level, but this is what we can be targeting for next week. So we may see the market actually come all the way down here, especially with ISM, manufacturing, PMI. We may see like some weakness in US dollar before we actually have an upward movement. So that is one thing we can actually see. Then there was another pair that somebody mentioned. Okay, silver index. Rather, it's not an index, it's just silver. So let's just look at that real quick. So next week on dollar index, we can definitely see some short-term downward movement before we actually make an uptrend. So that's what I'm looking at, obviously. So like I said, looking at the news on Monday, we may have that pullback and some weakness in US dollar. And then we may start to move all the way up, especially with NFP coming up. So we may have that pullback, then another higher high made. So looking at silver, this just looks like an obvious downtrend to me. So as well as what gold did, this has been broken. This support level was also taken out. This support level also taken out. And we haven't really breached this resistance, but we have touched it. And we have seen a reversal point over there. So we may obviously see in the markets come down and make a new low over here. So we're looking for this support level to be breached as a short-term target. So we'll have two support levels, one over here and one over here. So obviously the pairs that I will hold myself accountable for right now is the NAS 100 and silver here, which the members have actually mentioned that we have a look at. So these are targets we can be looking at for next week, especially with the news covering the whole week, just US dollar, because we have like a majority of US dollar news coming in for next week. So just like I said, for gold, we may have a retracement all the way here for a short-term upward movement. So we may have to look for a sell opportunity over here. If not, the market will just go directly to these support levels and take them out. But if you're looking to reduce your risk and look for a higher risk to reward, this pullback to this level over here would be ideal, just like it is on gold. Same analysis. So that's what we can be looking for next week. Then, as I also covered on the NAS 100, I'll be looking to short this market coming all the way down to this support level. But of course, we're also looking for a pullback over here, just like we're being conservative with gold. So we'll definitely be targeting these levels. So let me just put this on my watch list. So we're gonna be like NAS 100 short for next week. So I'll hold myself accountable to that. And also silver is a short for next week. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for on these particular pairs for next week. Thank you very much also for bringing these pairs up. So I hope you also take good trades on those particular instruments and make profit as well going into next week. Apart from that, our time is up. We thank you all for attending our session. At this moment, I'm gonna push it over to Ria. You can take over now.
I have nothing to say other than thank you for joining us. We'll be back again on Wednesday at the same exact time. So if you want to mark your calendars, we're going to kind of check back at these pairs and see how they're moving throughout the week and then go from there. But we hope that everyone has a good day, a good night, and a successful trading week. And we'll see you in a couple of days.
Okay, awesome. Right. Okay. See you everyone on Wednesday as we analyze the market and see how our analysis went as well.